Back it up. Back it up. A little more. Is that it? Yup. The TH10 in all its glory. Dare I ask how much this set you back? Come on, Reggie, we've made a mint this year. Now, I'm not just talking about ripping off those enthusiasts for the third year in a row. You remember how much Little Western brought in? Yeah, but then you went and bought the J74 tank. But then that made a bundle too. And then you blew a huge load on the 46,000. So did that. And then you bought the Andrew Barclay. Seriously, Top Hat, can't you spend money on something other than engines? Like some rolling stock? Or overhauls? Or wages? Or anything? Reginald, you don't seem to understand the problem I have. I need to run trains. The enthusiasts are obsessed by engines, and will pay to ride behind them. We have a fine set of coaches, so I need engines to pull them. Fine? The coupling for that Pullman fell off 3 times last week. That can be fixed. Anyway, this engine will surely bring in more money than all of the others. You know, boss, I'm really starting to worry about your business skills. You know nothing of business, you're the labourer. This is called deficit financing. A good friend of mine is a hedge fund manager working for a top city company. With his financial guidance, we can't go wrong. You bought a freight engine for a railway with no freight. How's that good business? I'm guessing you have plans to run freight sometime this year, right? Patience, Neon. We have to see whether anyone will be interested in using our line before we do that. Translation, I bought it for the hell of it. Well, what are you gonna do? It's here now, so we may as well make the most of it. Besides, we got this one on the cheap. They're getting rarer and their price is higher. I saw an opportunity and went for it. And I've heard these things can do up to 90. 90? On this railway? You'll end up in a field if you try that. Didn't we get up to 126 on an even smaller engine? Well, I may have exaggerated a little. That's what we get when you smoke a doobie before firing.
Wow, nice little engine you got there.
German outline. Very distinguished.
So, when did that arrive? 2 days ago. Again, it seems our boss is more concerned about engines than anything else. Well, he did say he'd need a shed the size of the Millennium Dome.
He was complaining that time. Do you think that's what he's aiming for now?
Let's see. He now has a high-speed train, a mixed traffic locomotive, 2 passenger locos, a freight engine, and about 4 tank engines. I reckon he's halfway there.
And where have you been?
Overslept. Oh, I need a cuppa. Lazy git. I was up at 5 this morning getting everything ready. And there was no tea in the shed. Dear God. Stephanie, give me some tea bags. We need them up the shed.
Get your own. I need them for the customers.
So, how's it going with Max?
I don't know. He hasn't spoken to me in a month.
He's probably busy with work. He is working, isn't he?
No, actually, he's been laid off.
What?
The railway had to make cutbacks, and he was one of the unlucky ones.
Ouch. Well, get moving, Neon. We'll pick up some tea bags from the Maxi Mart. Seriously, boss, as much as I like the look of this engine, you're really taking it too far now. We've got 4 large tender engines and only 3 coaches. What's the point? 4 coaches, Reggie. The seller threw in this one as extra. All the same, it's too much. We must be in serious debt by now. Nonsense, we're doing just fine. There's a rather big event being celebrated by all the other businesses round here. I believe it's called a recession. You heard anything of it? Now Reggie, just remember, you can never be too well prepared. Remember the hassle we had when the 317 had its accident? That was 3 years ago! And then the Metroliner had its encounter with a car and we were stuck for an engine? Don't remind me. We need spare engines to cover breakdowns. Oh yeah, so if all 3 other engines suddenly have boiler failure tomorrow, then Emerald Knight will be ready to fill the void? Precisely. Sometimes I think you have no faith in your workshop staff. I'll give it a rest and look on the bright side. This train is fully booked. That's surely a good sign, right? Where'd you get the money for that emerald? I hired it as a promotional gimmick. You'd be amazed what you can do with glass these days, my boy. I hear you can use it to keep the wind out of your house. That didn't work at Neon's place. Are you kidding?
Not at all, sir. And you know I'm a bad liar.
They can't do this to us. Not now!
Well, we're in the middle of a credit crunch, and the banks won't give out any more credit. You're reaping the results of deficit financing.
God, Reggie's never gonna let me forget this. I doubt anyone will forget this. The Desk Railway's facing a financial crisis. Alright, thank you all for coming at such short notice. You say if we didn't, we'd be sacked. Shut up or you're fired. Anyway, does that mean I'm fired? The reason I've called you all here is that Goodwin's Bank, an institution with which we have dealt for many years, has gone into a bit of financial bother. It is discovered that they have only £100 billion in assets, barely enough to cover the directors' bonuses, and therefore they're withdrawing credit facilities from many of their customers, including, I regret to say, the Desk Railway. This means that by the end of the month, we must repay all the money we have borrowed from the bank. £500 and twopence halfpenny. We borrowed it quite some time ago. So, I'm looking for ideas as to how we can do this. Reggie? Let me be the first to say, I told you so. Now is not the time to be casting blame. Especially when it's your fault. Why don't we borrow it from another bank? Well, I tried the Madoff Bank of America, but they're not answering the phone. And I tried the Ponzi Bank of Nigeria, who will lend me the money if I send them a £100 arrangement fee, which I haven't got. Everywhere else just laughs hysterically when I ask them for money. Sell some engines, that TH10 sounds like it should have stayed in the scrapyard. I did reluctantly look at that option, but in the current financial climate there aren't any buyers. Everyone's in the same boat. What happens when we tell Goodwins to poke it? They wind us up, everyone gets sacked, and there's a risk the engine will get scrapped. So, ideas?
Become professional diamond thieves.
Stage a series of bank robberies. Become prostitutes. Seconded! Right. Any legal ideas? God, what are we gonna do now?
There's really not a lot we can do. The SIF enthusiasts aren't coming this year. They say they watch YouTube and now know you've been ripping them off. And even if they did come, their money's only a drop in the ocean.
Desk Railway, Tobias Hattersley speaking. Who?
Garrett Walker, chairman of the Mere Railway. I've heard in the grapevine that she may well have some funding problems.
Where did you say you heard that? The grapevine?
Yes, it's my local charming place. Anyway, about your financial situation.
Yeah, we're up shit, suffering a lack of financial liquidity at present.
Oh, such a shame. But I do believe I can help you.
Yeah, sure, I'll be there. Okay, bye.
Who was he? And what did he want?
Well, he owns the Mere Railway, and he's offering an interesting deal to us. I'm going to visit him next week to talk through the possibilities.
Deal? What sort of deal?
He wants to buy the railway.